Hello, today I'm going to talk about the importance of parental involvement in children's education. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This is a quote from Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, and the Global Education 2030 Agenda aims to make it a reality. This is a global commitment towards providing basic education from childhood to adulthood to individuals without discrimination. It is the responsibility of every government to ensure that it is implemented through partnerships with global citizens. We all have a role to play, including parents. Learning is an ongoing process, and the importance of parental involvement in children's education cannot be emphasized enough. At home, it includes learning family values and good citizenship skills. Many parents feel like they are not able to be involved in their children's education, for example, because they feel they do not have the time. Being involved, however, does not mean spending a lot of time in structured learning. It can be both spontaneous and structured, depending on the parent-child relationship. When parental involvement begins as early as possible, children grow up understanding that education is an important part of life, just like brushing teeth. There are other benefits to the relationship when parents prioritize their involvement, and I will talk about some of them, beginning with bonding. Some parents read books to their babies and carry on with bedtime stories, which helps them establish routine. It also helps them to bond. Since families have different challenges, establishing a pattern is not always possible. Parents can commit to finding an approach that suits them. For instance, there are other creative ways to help children learn, like the use of technology. Older children can also be asked to summarize their books until they are old enough to manage their own studies. The advantage of beginning when children are young is that parents can learn with their children. This is very helpful, for instance, to parents who have language barriers, as they can learn a new language by reading beginners' books. As they get older, the school curriculum becomes very interesting, and there's always something to learn. Listening to children also means that parents can appreciate some of the skills they learn at school. On top of that, children like to show off their skills, and this is a good opportunity for parents to also show that they are proud of them. The bonding process helps parents to keep track of children's development. As educators are trained to teach children, they have a good understanding of child development. Getting to know what they do with children can help parents keep track of their children's development, including mental growth. It is easy to underestimate this progress without intentionally being involved. The school curriculum as well cannot cover everything, so parents can get to know what else they need to teach their children outside of the school, including good citizenship and good values. Another way of instilling values in children is by modeling good behavior. Children whose parents pay attention to education have a higher chance of adopting the same values. This, coupled with good social skills, helps children to develop into responsible adults. One way of helping children develop good social skills is through observing their parents' interactions with teachers. Parents can take advantage of parent-teachers meetings and brief interactions to learn about the progress their children are making. This can also be a good opportunity to ask questions about how they can support their children. This is one of the many reasons why it is very important for teachers and parents to maintain healthy relationships where there is mutual respect. Witnessing this also teaches children to respect their teachers, which in turn helps them to pay attention during lessons. On the other hand, when the adults undermine each other, where there is no mutual respect, it makes it difficult for children to thrive. Children also observe their parents' behavior, so good social skills can help them develop into healthy adults. This can also be beneficial to their emotional development, which is vital to mental health. Mental engagements, such as learning new skills, can be challenging, and sometimes it feels like it is impossible to grasp new concepts. Parental involvement can therefore use these opportunities to help children prepare for unpredictable life situations. For example, developing problem-solving skills in algebra can teach them that The more we try, the closer we get towards reaching our targets. Effective learning should lead to independence and maturity. As children grow, parental involvement in schoolwork can decrease to encourage independence. They can learn to carry out research by themselves, as well as develop the courage to go back to their teachers and peers for assistance. Sometimes parents need to encourage their children to ask for help because they themselves are not knowledgeable in a particular topic, and there should never be any shame in this. Even if parents are not able to help with most of the schoolwork, they can still contribute by ensuring that the children do go back to get the help they need, or they can speak to teachers to ask them to help the children. They might be given resources to use, as well as being signposted to other places where children can be helped. Sometimes children are not able to cope with schoolwork because they have other barriers that the parents may not be able to notice. Teachers are able to communicate this, and they can also get other professionals involved, such as psychologists and social workers. Good teachers want the best for their children, and parents should always feel encouraged to get help whenever necessary. At this point, I believe we can agree that it is very important for parents to be involved. Now let's look at this.
Hi guys, it's T, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to multiply whole numbers by decimals. I will be demonstrating different methods to work this out. Let's get started. Now I'm going to be showing you method 1. Method 1 is you're going to times 9 and 4 by each other, 6 and 9 by each other. So 9 times 4 is 36. You put the 6 here. So it's the last digit of each number you put underneath what you times it by. So 9 and 4 is 36. You put it here. Then you do 9 times 6, which is 54. So you think that you write 54 and put the 4 here. But because this number 3 is underneath this column, you have to do 54 plus the 3. The 3 is what's remaining, and it goes to the next column because it is the tens number. So 9 times 6 is 54, plus 3 makes it 57. Okay, so now that you've times these two together and you've added it up, you have to put the 5 next to the 7, closest to the left side. That is because there's only 2 numbers here. If there was 3 digits, so for instance 564, you would put the 5 underneath because you're still timesing another digit. But because there's only 2, the 5's going to be left over and go to the start of the number. So, next step, you'd do 4 times 0 and 6 times 0. But that's 0, so you don't need to do it. And remember, you always need to make sure that you've got a decimal point. As you can see here, it goes directly under the decimal point here. So the answer that you should have got is 57.6. Now, you can always try this out yourself at home. You can pause the video and go along with it and write it down. So now I'm going to show you how to do method 2. So we've got 36 from 9 times 4. You don't need to put the 0 because 4 times 0 is obviously going to be a 0. Then you do 6 times 9, which is 54. But you add a 0 here because it's in the tens column. When every time it goes up a digit, you put a 0. So, for instance, if you were timesing 164, once it got to the 1, you'd have to put 2 zeros because it's 100. So, however many zeros are going to be in the number without the number before or the two numbers before, then you have to put that in the column. So here we only need 1 0 because it would be 60. Now it makes 540 because you put 6 times 9 after the 0. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add all of these together, which makes 576, but you have to add the decimal point as you're timesing it by a decimal number, and you have to line it up all the way down here. So here is the decimal point, so the decimal point has to be here in the final answer. So the answer is 57.6. That's the same as method 1. Let me show you. 57.6. There are 2 different methods, give you the same answer. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye.
I appreciate the time you have taken to watch this video. If you have found it helpful, please remember to share it with others. My next video will be about taking care of ourselves with little resources. If you would like to get in touch, please email healthycommunity96@gmail.com. Thank you. Ke a leboga.